Southwest Patrol, so Skinner, how can I help you?
Hey, Skinner. I've been trying to get a hold of you and haven't got a hold of you.
Who is this?
This is Kiana Clark regarding the interference with child custody report that I gave you. And you said that...
Hey, Kiana, where you been?
I've been trying to flee you guys' abuse and I haven't been very successful. Each location does the same thing that you were doing. So I just haven't really been anywhere. I've had multiple different other false arrests. It wasn't safe. You kept coming, removing me from hotel stays on base of lies, and they're doing it the same thing. I couldn't get food properly. I was blacklisted from everything, so it wasn't safe for me to live in Dallas. And I wasn't getting law enforcement. But back to the interference with child custody crimes. So you said when the family...
You're not in Dallas anymore, are you?
Yeah, I am. I'm visiting now. But nonetheless, I would like to talk about the interference with child custody reports I gave you. And you said that you would call the location.
But you're no longer in Dallas, right?
No, I didn't. I'm visiting.
But you're visiting. You don't live here. Your residence is not here, so you don't.
Yeah, it is. I'm visiting another location. That's what I'm saying. That I had to visit another location because it wasn't safe there. I live there. But I would like information on the interference with child custody crimes.
You no longer live in Dallas.
No, who told you that? There's a misunderstanding. There's a misunderstanding. I misspoke. I live there.
No. You don't live in Dallas.
Who told you that? I'm telling you I do. Are you scamming to keep me from law enforcement again?
You've been gone for 2-3 years now. You've been gone for some years.
How would you know that?
Because we ain't heard from you.
That's not evidence, because you have heard from me. I was trying to figure out why I was arrested using transit.
Have not.
Well, my family does this. Is there a particular reason why we can't talk about my report that I made to you?
Give me an address. Give me an address.
Okay. I'm homeless, so let me get the address. It's at a shelter.
Give me an address.
Okay. Do you want my past address or the address at 1818 Corsicana Street at the Bridge Shelter?
Everybody get that address. That's a known address for the homeless people.
That's what homeless people would use. I'm forced into homelessness. I reported to South Central. I reported to South Central how my job was scheming and gave them evidence that I was being pathologically lied on by armies full of people. It just happened the other day. But nonetheless, we're reflecting and being distracted on the interference with child custody report I gave you. Okay, you said that you tried to call them, but it was a weekend to figure out what happened when I set up everything with the Family Place Liberties and why they were depriving me of the supervised visits. And I also communicated to you that I would like to know what was the neglect that I supposedly did.
I haven't talked to them about 2 years. I have no idea.
I've been calling. They said that you wouldn't return my calls. I've been calling over and over again, and they know you never called me back. I don't know what was happening. This happens at multiple different locations.
I'm only the initial officer. When I file reports, it goes to a detective. So what detective?
But you said when it was closed that you were going to call yourself personally, but it was closed. So I was wanting a follow up of you to call when it was open, because it didn't benefit either of us if you called when it was closed. So I thought common sense by you being, are you a corporal or a sergeant?
I don't do any of that, man. It goes to a detective.
No, what's your position? I'm asking. Are you trying to hide it?
No, I don't need to hide nothing.
Okay, what's your position?
You know my position.
If I knew it, I don't know why police treat me like this repeatedly over and over. Like when you came and demanded my door be open so you two can have my apartment number. So I don't know why you don't want to let me know your position and why you would tamper with evidence, which is a felony, and then blame me for it. All police departments do it.
Why you calling me talking about stuff that happened 2 years ago?
Because I still haven't had access to my daughter because it keeps happening every day. Well, it's still vital because I haven't access to my child. Are you refusing to tell me? Are you refusing to tell me your position?
I have not heard from you in 2 years.
So you don't want me to know your position?
In case you're recording this, you're discussing things from 2 years ago. I have not talked to you in 2 years.
I couldn't talk to you. It was impossible when you wouldn't return my calls. I couldn't.
Because you were locked up in Arlington jail. That's where you've been. You was in Arlington jail.
Okay, do you think that helps you out, that you took my freedom for trying to have access to my child?
I didn't take your freedom. Arlington took your freedom, ma'am.
But I'm sorry, are you stalking me? Stalking's a felony, Skinner.
Baby, I don't need to stalk you, sweetheart.
Well, how would you know that, Skinner, if you're not stalking me?
Because we had silence for a couple years because you wasn't calling.
So you checked it out, but you still can't check and see why I can't get my supervised visits? But you checked to see if I was in jail on false charges? I thought not reporting these crimes was criminal.
Huh?
I thought if you or checked the background and you knew I was arrested for reporting the same thing I reported to you, you were supposed to do something about it. What's your position again? We keep getting deflected and distracted. What's your
I don't
position?
understand what your question is.
What's your position, sir?
You
Are
know
you
my
a
position.
sergeant? Are you a corporal? I don't remember.
Oh, you remember everything else, but you don't remember
I
my
think it's a
position.
red flag that multiple police don't want me to know their badge numbers and positions. I think that's a big red flag.
You remember everything else, Kiana Clark.
But I can't remember that. Are you depriving me? I thought there was misconduct when you didn't give me that information.
Do what?
I thought it was misconduct when you didn't give me the information. You remember I was came somewhere. I had went on the other
You
side,
remember my
and you
name
almost
when you
hit me
called
with
me?
your car. You need to be careful because the other police did it.
You remember
When
my
I
name
left
when you
the
called
South
me?
Central, when I left the police department, and I was walking away from the police department, you almost hit me. You need to be careful because other police have
Who
done
almost
it.
hit you?
You.
Woman ain't almost hit
You
you.
did. I had left the police department and it was some man that was doing something weird, and then you came from nowhere, and you need to be careful because you don't want to hit
Woman,
people.
I ain't
They have
almost hit
cameras.
you. Don't put that lie there.
They have cameras, sir. You just need to be careful when you're
Yes.
coming by people. You
Yes.
scared me.
I ain't almost hit you. I've never seen you walking.
You scared me with your
Anytime I
vehicle.
see
You were not being safe because I was walking, and then you came from nowhere and scared me. And I
Wrong
considered that jeopardizes my safety. Other officers that did it,
Wrong
they
person.
did it in
Yeah,
Austin. Well, if
Wrong
you don't want to
person.
talk about that, why were you on that other side anyway? By that business?
What other side, sweetheart?
Because I left the police department and it was a business. I can't remember what the business was. I don't
what
think that you
police
had
department?
reason to be over there.
You left what police department?
Your police department, and walked over to the other side, and I was
Which
doing
one?
something trying to flee you guys, and then you came from
Which
nowhere
police
and then
department?
scared me with the vehicle. And I want you guys to know that's not safe to repeatedly do that. Because Austin police did it, and I reported him, and they haven't called me back for investigation there either. So back to the crime. So did you do anything? Because I reported the same thing to you, and then I got arrested for reporting the same thing I reported to you in Arlington.
I'm working now.
So if you know about it, did you report it to the FBI or any kind of? Because if you didn't, it's crime. So we need to figure out if you know that. Then I thank you for. Did you investigate why they took my freedom for reporting the same thing I reported to you?
You sound like you know everything, Kiana Clark. I don't need to do anything. You sound like you the investigator, the FBI, and everybody.
I have to be if it's being denied. I had no other choice. You made me be my own investigator because I was being denied investigation for profit. But nonetheless, so back to the interference with child custody I reported to you, and back to the fact that you don't want me to have your badge number or your position for some reason. And you claim that you didn't come at me with a vehicle, which would be criminal for the police department to repeatedly do it. And caught on camera footage in Austin.
I've never come at you with a vehicle.
Well, I remember you in a vehicle that came by me and you startled me. I don't want to say that you that you hit me or came at me to hit me, but you startled me definitely coming out of I had came out the police department and I was trying to figure out my bearings and what I was going to do.
What department are you talking about?
Aren't you the location that you're at? Aren't you Southwest Patrol?
Which one?
Illinois.
When was this? What are you talking about?
I don't know why I got out of my car. What was going on? But you came. I don't know. It was on camera footage. I don't know exactly what was happening, but I didn't understand why you were over there and coming that direction, scaring me with your vehicle. And it happened in Austin as well. And I went ahead and reported this one because it also happened in Dallas by Austin Street Shelter. I don't remember the exact date, but I would like to concentrate on why you're depriving me of your position, and even though it's misconduct, and your badge number.
Say it again.
I want to concentrate at this point on why you're depriving me of your badge number and your position, even though it's misconduct. If you don't,
ma'am, you already know all my information. I'm not gonna keep giving you that, so you can spread it all over YouTube.
You don't really have a choice, even if I am spreading it all over YouTube. It's misconduct for you not to give it to me.
I do have a choice. You know all my information. I'm not gonna give you all that.
I think that you're using that as an alibi on your crimes, like you were doing in the past. I'm just trying to prove it with my YouTube channel. I don't know what it's going to take for you guys to get charges. But back to the interference with child custody report, I went to police headquarters to get the documentation of all these countless reports, like 100, and then they told me that I could only get 3 reports they choose. So I can't get the status of the report that I made to you because police headquarters said that they had to choose and they only chose 3 reports. And they had nothing to do with all the multiple interference with child custody crimes I reported, which is a felony.
Let me find.
They couldn't find your report, or they claimed that they couldn't. They said that they could only give me 3 reports they chose, which I thought was violating my rights because it was 100 reports, hit and
You
runs.
want the open record?
I did, and they demanded, and then I was removed for trying to get all my records, and I couldn't get records in years, and then finally when they allowed me to get records, they said it had to be 3 records that they chose. And I said, why don't I have access to the 100 and something reports being threatened relentlessly, felonies with mail, calling the police on post offices, multiple different ones for keeping me from mail, which is a felony, all kind of excessive things, multiple different organizations everywhere I went, depriving me of assistance, crimes to keep me away from children, assault, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, multiple different other assaults, stalking, terroristic threats, corruption with courts, all kind of crimes. So I was reporting serious things. It wasn't just, petty things that I was reporting. I was reporting serious crimes, hacked devices, pickpocketing, robberies, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated robbery, all kinds of shelter stealing from me, multiple hospitals stealing from me.
I'm trying to tell you how to get it. So when you go down there and you fill out
they won't give it to me. I'm not really being heard. I've already done that. I would like you to tell me, and you're hiding your position and badge number. Since they won't give it to me, can you tell me what you've done? Because obviously you're aware that it's pretty serious for me reporting interference with child custody crimes. And we know accessory to crimes is criminal, being an accessory. You being in a position in law enforcement, I don't exactly know what position that would put you in for repeatedly covering for crimes and then blaming me for it. And you have evidence of that because you're aware about Arlington taking my freedom for reporting the very same crime I reported to you. And you not reporting and doing anything about that is criminal. So I guess that's why you don't want me to have your badge number or your position. And the location I'm in now did the same thing. They were hiding their badge number. I expressed to my YouTubers that this is a repeated pattern, that you guys openly conceal crimes and never held accountable. If you know about that, do you know that I tried to report you guys at the FBI and was given a criminal trespass, and on another occasion handcuffed by Joseph, that also followed me around at the West End before it started getting guarded like Fort Knox?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, you do today, and then, those crimes happen and you didn't do anything, even though it's criminal. Joseph did, but now that he don't have to be there, it's guarded like Fort Knox.
Who is Joseph?
Joseph Bosonic, he's with Homeland Security. I tried to report him and other crimes to Rachel Hart.
I don't know them.
But, I couldn't get an update with Rachel Hart because they gave me a criminal trespass, so I couldn't get a follow-up. I tried to also report crimes at the Department of Justice on Commerce in Dallas and couldn't get a follow-up to that. I tried to get a follow-up of why I was deprived of my constitutional right to go to court for all these different false arrests at Frank Crowley, and they said I was told by officer I couldn't go in to get clarity on why repeatedly I was deprived of my constitutional right to go to court. When Austin did it, they demanded that I be mentally ill. So when they demanded that I was mentally ill, they scammed that's why I couldn't go to court and then deprived me of my right to go to the mental illness court. So if I couldn't go to court, there's no possibility you can find me mentally ill if I haven't met you. They didn't care. In some kind of way, they put me on lockdown for asking for information about my case and still haven't got charges, even though Diane Hammer in Hillsborough went to jail. It's still happening repeatedly over and over. But nonetheless, I'm on the phone speaking to you about the interference with child custody crimes, and you have an awareness that I was being arrested for reporting the same crimes to Arlington. I thought you were a corporal. What do you want to do with that? They said that you got a raise after violating me, and no, you were no longer a sergeant, but a corporal. You're not the only one that got a raise from violating me. Multiple different police got
a raise. Yeah,
they told me that you're no longer a sergeant, you're a corporal. There's multiple different people that violated me that got raises. You're not the only one. Though I have actually a video of where someone was a report covering for my son being hit with a car and wouldn't let me do police reports. He got a raise while I was recording the video. They said, congratulations on your raise. So I have it recorded how crooked police get raises for violating me.
I wish I got a raise.
Well, they said that you went from a sergeant to a corporal and you don't want to tell me your position.
You already know my position.
Well, I don't know because they said you went from a sergeant to a corporal, so I don't have details on what the truth is, and you're unwilling to tell me, which I think is a red flag. But nonetheless, so since you are a higher up, you have a higher authority, I suppose. Like you said, I'm doing the best to do my own law enforcement. So typically, you have a responsibility. If you're aware that I was reporting the same thing I reported to you, who are you going to report that to? Because not reporting it is a crime.
did your reports when you asked me.
They won't give me the record of it. I don't know how to combat it. They demanded that I only
So
take
that's my
3 reports
problem.
they chose. That's why I'm speaking to
But
you on the phone, and I'm questioning what you did with it and what you did with the
so it's
fact
my
that you know
problem that they
Arlington
not
took
giving.
my freedom for reporting the same thing I reported to you.
So you blaming me for that?
Well, I'm blaming you for committing crimes and not reporting to anyone. With your position, you being a higher ranking position, you have responsibilities, and you not reporting it as a crime. People sugarcoat felonies all the time around me. So if you have
I
prior
resent that.
knowledge
You're
of my
calling
situation,
me
and
a
then I
criminal,
reported something to you, and
Ghana.
it fell through the cracks, in fact, 300 or 400 other times, then you have a responsibility to report it to not get a charge. I'm just not quite certain why all police departments repeatedly do that. Do you want to get a charge?
Ghana, you're calling me a criminal, and I don't like that.
Well, I'm just asking if is it your child's safety at stake or is it my child?
You're calling me a criminal.
I just don't understand. Is it my child whose safety is at stake or is it your child?
I don't know. I did the report.
Okay, you did the report. So can you tell me what happened with your higher ranking position? And then since you're a higher ranking position and you know my freedom was taken for reporting the same thing, are you going to report it? Because if you don't, it's a crime.
Report it to who? Who am I supposed to report it to?
I let people keep repeatedly doing this. That's law enforcement. Are you obstructing justice?
Ain't got nothing to do with Arlington and the other agencies.
You do have something to do with it. If you are aware of criminal activity, like you are aware because you know about that arrest, you have a responsibility to report it to not get a charge. You have no other choice but to report crimes. You have to not get a charge against you.
I'll go report it today when I get off work.
That's funny. It's not funny, but that's funny. I really don't believe you. Why did you want my door open and you knew my safety was at risk, and so all YouTube could see my the door number? If someone was threatening my safety and you wouldn't take the report that serious, why did you demand my door be open? You don't want me to know why you demanded my door be open so all of YouTube could see my door number? Because you're not the only one. You're not the only officer that did that. A lot of your officers did it. Do you know why you were angry when I was trying to report crimes? Because our police are doing it.
Oh, you in the station.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I just reported to another officer when I'm trying to report crimes. There's always distractions. It happened at Midcoast. Other people that stayed there came in and interrupted it, and I said, this is bizarre. If you see me talking to them, why would you interrupt? People call with emergencies on cue to leave me trapped in my emergency. I'm just trying to, I don't know why I saw these patterns that aren't realistic all over the place. I just tried to report it to Victoria Police. That while I was on the phone with him, I was getting a prank call. It's happened for years. You have to prove something like that repeatedly keeps happening. If you're on the middle of a call, she's not supposed to be distracting you in your call.
I think I'm about to get off work in a minute.
Oh, so you can't call because you said that was several years ago, and we never got to the bottom of why a whole organization was denying me the supervised visits that were obtained in corruption.
I don't know nothing about it.
You do. I don't know why you would blatantly lie, because you not only know about that, you know about my freedom being taken at Arlington. You've done your homework. They just said the same lie in Victoria. I don't really get anywhere with why would police. My abuser says that he has you guys bought off and paid in full, and you'll always protect them. Are you taking bribes?
We bought and paid for.
That's what the email says that you want to investigate. I think it's red flags. I don't know why someone fleeing abuse, where you were angry with them like they are in this environment, infect all the environments. Don't you think that put my safety at risk for you to demand my door to be open, exposing my apartment number?
You expose all us on YouTube every day, all day.
Well, it's not a crime to record government officials. You can record government officials and police officers. I imagine that if you're committing crimes, you wouldn't want to be recorded. But that it's in bad taste for law enforcement to rack up felonies and then blame the party that's recording them. Why would you be scared for someone to record you if you were abiding by the law? Don't you put people in jail every day that break the law? Why would you choose to break it? And then blame me for your inability to abide by the law? If you're higher ranking officer, so you should know that it's legal to record officers, and you should know as a higher ranking officer that people that don't want to be recorded are probably committing crimes. But nonetheless, back to the interference with child custody report that I did with you. How long did you say that was?
It's been a couple of years ago.
Right, and it's in fact, I've been running into snags. I don't know that you've done anything. Because I still don't have access to my daughter, and you've seen that I was arrested in Arlington for trying to get access.
And the statute of limitation is over, so my job is done.
Oh, is that your alibi? Let me make sure I understand. So, if you commit a crime and you don't get caught, there's a statute of limitations that you can be held accountable?
Yes, the state of Texas. The statute of limitations is over.
Okay, what's the statute of limitations?
Time is up.
Are you excluding me from the knowledge of knowing if you commit a crime, the statutes of limitation? So I didn't know. So if you commit a crime and you don't get caught, what's the statute of limitations?
My phone is ringing.
Are you denying me of a report in my right to law enforcement? Are you saying like the Victoria police just said you have to go in the middle of me trying to get law enforcement? And you already did this 2 or 3 years ago, and it's still happening today? You know, my daughter was arrested my daughter witnessed my false arrest at age 8. She's about to be 16. So you guys, crimes and games has caused a lot of damage. She had a meltdown because of the abuse that you enforced. This is pain and suffering on my family. It's not fun and games and jokes.
So you get them babies back.
I can't combat that you are not doing, no one's holding you accountable for your crimes. I can't combat that you are racking up felonies for yourself and repeatedly blaming me. I can't combat that you have knowledge that my freedom was taken for reporting the same thing that was not investigated for you. I can't combat the fact that you are condone me having 100 and something reports, but police headquarters demanded that I take 3 reports that they chose. I can't demand being drowned in crooked police that enforce felonies. So what do you want me to do? And you say that I need to get my life together and being narcissistic with me and psychologically abusive because you refuse to abide by the law. How can I combat that?
Yeah, who took your kids, Kiana?
I don't know. First it was CPS, and then when they got caught in crimes, you're the investigator. Can you ask?
So that means DPD didn't take them. So why don't you call CPS?
CPS, the 255th District Court let CPS and the other false reports, they let them disappear for cover up. So they alter court documents and then remove. Well, you have something to do with it because you're law enforcement and not doing anything is a crime. That's what you have to do with it. You have something to do with it because you're law enforcement and not doing anything is criminal. That's why you have something to do with it. So nonetheless, you asked me what happened with CPS. CPS, that's why they arrested me at CPS because they altered court documents and they didn't want to be responsible for countless felonies. So they chose either their freedom or mine. So they punished me for their crimes. It's been happening almost 30 times. Just like you did when you came and bullied me for trying to do a report and demanded my door stay open and to put my safety at risk by exposing my door number. I experienced the same thing, which is it's not safe for me to be here because no one has put you under control for endangering my safety and my child's safety. So basically, you're asking me about CPS.
Your door number exposed, but you want to expose our name, badge numbers, and everything on YouTube, huh?
I don't understand why that would be a threat. You're an officer. And if you're not abiding by the law, if you're abiding by the law, I don't know why that would threaten you. And why to the degree, I don't know why I would threaten you to the degree of why you're wanting to conceal your badge number, why you're concealing your badge number and your position. So I really didn't get a lot resolved like all the other times you were bullying and violating me for reporting crimes. You know It.me? Hold on. It.me has you on there at this channel. That's my abuser's channel. It.me. It says Skinner's coming for you. Yeah. It says what you want to do when Skinner comes for you. On It.me. It's a site I tried to report to you and you wouldn't let me report. I tried to report the YouTube channel to you. Because I told you that I was being stalked. They had me picketing at CPS and should not have. Because I hadn't updated anyone that I was picketing at CPS. And it was a picture of me at CPS.
I said, let me eat and then call me back.
That's what you did when I was trying to report it in person. You had to go. And when you came to my apartment. So are you going to call me back? Because this was an extended conversation to get nowhere. I've been calling you back all these years, and you never called me back. I kept leaving messages. Can't you just call me back after your break? It's impossible for me to get a hold of you. I can't. They won't give you the message. And you've never called me back in years.
I wasn't at this station, sweetheart.
Well, yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of you all these years, and can't.
Okay, what's your number, Kiana? What's your number, baby?
Hold on one second. Call's coming in.